Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Narragansett Council's 2023 National Jamboree Informational Webinar. My name is John Potvin, and I am honored to be the Narragansett Council National Jamboree Committee Chairperson. On behalf of Narragansett Council, we hope that you will find this webinar both interesting and informative. It is the goal of this webinar to increase interest and participation in the 2023 National Jamboree, while attempting to provide a clear understanding of the logistics behind registering and preparing for an event of this magnitude. To accomplish this, we have prepared a small presentation, and we have some of our committee members present to share their knowledge of the National Jamboree. In addition, we have some videos highlighting some of the high adventure components of the National Jamboree, and we will also have some discussion regarding the logistics of the Narragansett Council's National Jamboree Contingent. The National Jamboree is 408 days away and will take place on July 19th through 28th, 2023 at the Summit Bechtel Scout Reservation in West Virginia. The National Jamboree is Scouting's flagship event. It is a gathering of tens of thousands of scouts, leaders, and staff that is intended to showcase everything that is great about the Boy Scouts of America. Participation in the 2023 National Jamboree will learn that character is created when you achieve more than you thought possible. Tonight, we have a small but great group of participants, and we'll have some time for questions and answers. However, if you have a question, as Zach stated, if you'd like to put it in the chat feature, we will get those answered for you. This time, I would just like to announce the members and introduce, which I think we only have one member of the committee, in addition to Zach and I. But as I stated earlier, my name is John Potvin, and I am the chairperson for the Council National Jamboree Committee. I'm currently the Scoutmaster of Troop 11 in Coventry, and I was honored to be the Scoutmaster of Narragansett Council Jamboree Troop 1113 in 2017. Also joining us tonight, we have Mrs. Carol Feeney, who is an Assistant District Commissioner, and she's held various positions within the council, and she served as a crew advisor for the Narragansett Council Crew 5252 at the 2017 National Jamboree. Mr. Terry Gray, who couldn't be with us tonight, he served as an Assistant Scoutmaster in 2013 and got to share that National Jamboree experience with both of his sons. In 2017, Mr. Gray served as the Scoutmaster of Jamboree Troop 1112. Mr. Bob Howard, he is currently a unit commissioner and chairman of the Camp Norse Alumni Association. His Jamboree experience is quite extensive. He has served as a Scoutmaster in 1989 and 1993. He has staffed the National Jamboree in 2013, 2017, 2019, and will be and should be on staff in 2023. This will be his fourth Jamboree at the Summit and has tirelessly served on the Council Jamboree Committee since 1989. Rick Partridge, Mr. Partridge attended in 2001 with his three sons. He served as a Scoutmaster at the National Jamboree in 2010 and served on the staff in 2005 and 2017. And he has also served as the Council Jamboree Committee Chairperson. Mr. Paul Schofield, Mr. Schofield is our Council Commissioner. He has also attended 3 National Jamborees, 2 at Fort AP Hill, and then the 2013 Jamboree, National Jamboree at the Summit. He was also the Narragansett Council Contingent Troop Scoutmaster for the 2019 World Jamboree. And of course, our illustrious staff advisor, Zach Daigle, who is Narragansett Council's Program Director. We'll now show a quick video, which will highlight some of what the Jamboree has to offer.
Oh, good. That was awesome.
Definitely a little bit more high energy than me droning on. So certainly that's the reason why all of our scouts and youth want to participate in the National Jamboree. There is so much to do. The 2000 Jamboree follows on the heels of the widely successful 2017 Jamboree. The 2023 Jamboree will be the third National Jamboree to be held at the Summit Bechtel National Scout Reserve in West Virginia's New River Gorge region. The 10,000-acre Summit Bechtel Reserve is adjacent to 70,000 acres of a federally protected national river area, one of the most amazing outdoor recreation centers on Earth. More than 20,000 scouts and scouters will explore all kinds of adventures: stadium shows, pioneer village, adventure sports, patch trading, and more in the heart of one of nature's greatest playgrounds. Once every 4 years, with the exception of 2021, where we know COVID disrupted us, the National Jamboree occurs. It brings generations together through scouting's largest showcase, and you don't want to miss it. It's a truly amazing experience. Base camps will be your home away from home during the Jamboree. There are 4 base camps for scouts: base camps A, B, C, and D. Each base camp houses around 2,000 participants each, and base camp E is reserved for staff. The Summit Center, including Action Point, is where visitors will come to experience the Jamboree and join with participants. Here, they'll get a taste of what the Jamboree is all about. However, they do not have access to the camping areas, as such as the sub camps. At this time, I think Mrs. Feeney is going to share some of her experience as a unit leader at the Bechtel.
All right, thank you, John. So I'll just kind of go through the whole experience from beginning to end. I was selected as a leader, and then as venturers signed up, we started pre-meetings before we even went down to the summit so that the youth could get to know one another. And venture crews run a little different than a unit. They have a president and different officers. So as we met and the youth got to know one another, they decided on their officer positions so that when we got down there, we were a functioning unit. We were just a quarter crew, so we were in a site with 3 other quarter crews, another one from Narragansett Council, one from New Hampshire, and then we were fortunate enough to be with a unit from Japan as well, so that was kind of interesting. The youth all had an amazing time. They did all sorts of different activities. One of the highlights that a bunch of them went on was a whitewater rafting trip. But even the Summit Center had a lot of different activities that they would go to. My biggest role as a unit leader, I felt, was health and safety. Venturers being older, were pretty much self-sufficient in doing things and running things, and they worked as a team with the other 3 units in the campsite to prepare food and clean up. So that was pretty much my experience. I had a blast as well, doing a lot of different activities, meeting a lot of new people, seeing a lot of things I hadn't seen before. So yeah, just like an overall amazing time. Is there anything else you'd like, John, or is that?
No, I think that's great. So clearly while Carol was down there as a unit leader, I also had the opportunity to be down there with one of the council's troops as the Scoutmaster. And clearly it was one of those scouting experiences where nobody was in the campsite. Pretty much everybody was off doing something all day, every day. I think for many of the scouts, and certainly for many of the adults, it was probably some of the greatest distances you could walk or hike in a 10-day time frame. Upwards of 8, some days 8-10 miles a day. which you didn't think you could potentially do. But certainly for the youth, there was a host of activities, which we will talk about next. But for everybody that went, including myself, really kind of that mountaintop experience that we always, strive for in scouting. So clearly, as we progress, if there's anything else that pops up, but as Carol said, the majority of the job of the unit leader is health and safety, as most of the program is taken care of for you. The biggest I think is forming a team as the council prepares the units to head down there, because scouts are coming from all areas of the council. And sometimes outside of the council. So, developing, a troop or a crew out of a different subset of youth than we're used to working with normally. All of the attendees will be able to enjoy some of the experiences that make the National Jamboree an unforgettable experience. And it's kind of hard to sum up in a couple of slides in a presentation. Even in the videos, you add in the high intensity music and the flashiness of the video, but it still really doesn't capture the enormity of what it is to be with tens of thousands of scouts, especially in the arena show or the stadium shows, where you look out and see a sea of tens of thousands of people all gathered for a show or a religious service, or the President of the United States when he showed up. So the classic Jamboree experiences form the foundation of your experience, and the stadium shows that take place at the AT&T Summit Stadium fit that bill. There's nothing like seeing a sea of scouts, scouters, entertainers, all varying levels of ability to get there to form a show. And lots of these pictures or videos, you'll see the phenomenal laser shows and fireworks displays that they show, which are just incredible. Patch trading. If you're not familiar with patch trading, even if you're a scout or your son or daughter is not into patch trading, by the time they come back from the National Jamboree, I can guarantee that they have traded at least one patch for something. One of the scouts in my Jambo troop, he didn't have any patches to trade, but he traded a rock for a patch and then left with bags of patches. So it's not just about scoring the coolest patch, it's about meeting other scouts from all over the United States and beyond. And it really do kind of set up their own cities for patch trading. Adventure sports. The Summit Bechtel Reserve is home to some amazing adventure sport facilities. At the 2023 National Jamboree, you'll get a chance to try them out. There's mountain biking, there's BMX, there's skateboarding, there's canopy tours, which are like zip lines. There's the challenge course. There's the big zip, which is a huge zip line. There's shooting, there's target sports, there's kayaking tours. And then there will be an opportunity for an additional fee to go on a whitewater adventure while you're there. Summit Center is home of the Gateway Village. It's also the Walter Scott Summit Center, where the hub of the Summit Bechtel resides. Here you can find retail opportunities, merit badge opportunities, Action Point, which is basically just a ton of adventure sport activities. There's a console energy bridge. There's also, which is shown in this picture here, which is a huge bridge. It's kind of the focal point of the reservation. There's also the sustainability treehouse and pretty much all the scouting that you can handle. Regardless of what your interests are, there's something for everybody in that area. You can also walk along the John Gottschalk Boardwalk and also down to the Goodrich Lake. Check out Boulder Cove, where they have the climbing and rappelling, and also visit the exhibits at the Freedom Field. If aquatics is your thing, there's touring kayaks, there's stand-up paddleboarding, there's water obstacle courses, and more. It's a great way to cool off, certainly in the middle of July. And, in the middle of West Virginia, it certainly gets warm. And, being able to cool off and just enjoy the waterfront is a great thing. And there's the Goodrich Lake East, Goodrich Lake West, and there's also Bravo Lake. So there's plenty of water and plenty of opportunity for everybody to get involved. Merit badges. I think when people think of the National Jamboree, they don't typically think of merit badges, especially when they're so abundant everywhere. As a unit leader, both in a unit within the council, and then also as a contingent Scoutmaster in the past, there wasn't a great emphasis on the merit badges from either the families, the Scouts, or the leadership. However, if that is your thing, there are plenty of opportunities there. There's merit badge booths located throughout the Summit Center. You can work on a ton of merit badges. You don't need to sign up ahead of time. You can just show up and be prepared to learn and enjoy yourself in the process. So like I said earlier, there are so many different opportunities that pretty much whatever a Scout is interested in, there's something that they might like. And then camp life. So this is the backbone of the Jamboree. So this is one of the places that's off limits to the visitors. It's just for the people that are residing there. And you can see this is just a little snippet of two campsites, so one across the street from each other. And this is the place where you work and you play with your fellow Scouts. You form, from setting up your camp on day 1 to taking it down on day 10. It's basically your home away from home for 10 days. And really, the experiences that you have there, just because the action is on the other side of the bridge, the action in the campsites and the camp life don't end. It strengthens the units. It solidifies leadership, just like you would see in a normal scouting unit, and also forges friendships. Some of our greatest memories, I think, when I was there, happened in the camp. There was a unit next to us shaving their heads. They all got mohawks, for example. So there was plenty of opportunity to enjoy the camp. However, when most people were in their tent, they were asleep after walking all day. So Zach, I think you were going to share another video.
Bear with me. Go.
If you like having fun, and if you like adventure and trying new things, the Jamboree is the best place to do it.
Go hard! Go hard! Yeah! Fighting through the fear, the blood, the sweat, the tears. Go hard! Go hard! Pushing through the pain, it's ours for the taking.
If you're deciding to come to the Jamboree, it's awesome.
You get to do stuff like this. It is such a great experience for anyone who wants to get outside and do stuff.
Everybody seems to come off smiling. Out there like, yeah, this is awesome.
If you're coming to Jamboree and you want high up in the air, fun, while testing yourself, go to the ropes course.
If you're gonna come to the Jamboree, I recommend the skate park 100%.
Go hard! Go hard! Yeah! Fighting through the fear, the blood, the sweat, the tears. Go hard! Go hard! Pushing through the pain, it's ours for the taking. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Hard! Go hard! Yeah! Fighting through the fear, the blood, the sweat, the tears. Go hard! Go hard! Pushing through the pain, it's ours for the taking. Here we go, here we go, here we go.
Awesome. Thank you, Zach. Certainly way more high energy than listening to me drone on, and certainly more high energy than the first the video that we played. But obviously that kind of scrolls through very quickly. But just again, a quick snippet of the magnitude of the things that are there to do. You know, there was a little glimpse of some of the fireworks that, you know, somebody rumor had it that, you know, the fireworks show was like $100,000 worth of fireworks. I mean, it's just compared to anything that you might see, unless it's, you know, maybe like a Disney World or something like that. I mean, it's really a professional production. You know, same thing. There was some snippets from some of the arena shows there, you know, where they had, you know, live bands. Clearly, being in my 40s, I didn't know some of the names. But, you know, obviously the Scouts all loved them. And then I did probably recognize a song or two here and there, but, you know, certainly high energy and a lot of fun. I am going to try and share my screen again, hopefully. So this is our expected itinerary. So we will get to kind of the nuts and bolts and talk a little bit less about what the Jamboree is, which we just kind of gave you a small sampling, and talk a little bit about what and when and how. So our expected itinerary is there for you to read. So it is the Jamboree runs from July 19th through July 28th. However, we will be departing probably very early. We don't have the time set yet. Early on Monday, July 17th. And we will depart from the Warwick Scout Shop, and we will proceed to Washington, D.C., where the attendees will have dinner and be able to tour the evening monuments. On Tuesday, July 18th, the contingent will depart from Washington, D.C., and head to Beckley, West Virginia, where they will enjoy the Jamboree Fellowship Dinner. And then on July 19th, they will make their way from Beckley, West Virginia, to the National Jamboree, where they will continue to work, play, and have fun for the next week. And then on July 28th, they will depart the National Jamboree and make their way back to Warwick. They will come back. They will be tired and they will be stinky, and probably have a ton of awesome stories and hopefully a lifetime of memories. Again, if anybody has any questions as it pertains to the itinerary or anything that we talk about, please just throw them in the chat and we will answer them. And then if there's a question that comes up that we can't answer, we will certainly get an answer and get back to you as soon as possible. So the qualifications for a youth participant for the National Jamboree. So obviously this is a scouting event. So everybody that attends, whether they're a youth, a young adult, or a leader or adult participant, they must be registered with the Boy Scouts of America. So first and foremost, for all of these, you have to have a current BSA membership. For the youth, they have to be at least 12 years of age by the first day of the Jamboree, but have not reached their 18th birthday by the last day of the Jamboree. They also must be approved by the Narragansett Council. And clearly, as youth participants, they must have their parental consent. And they must participate in the pre-Jamboree training experience. So much like any other scouting unit, there will be unit meetings. There will probably be an outing or two that they will participate in, team building activities, probably setting up their campsite based on their Jamboree unit leader expectation and the expectations of the council and the Council Jamboree Committee. The other thing that they must do is they must submit a BSA annual health and medical record using the online portal. So as we get closer to the Jamboree, I think by they need to be current, so they have to be from July 1st of this year or closer to the Jamboree. So anything before July 1st, they would have to get updated. And because this is a high adventure camp, the health form needs to be completed in its entirety to include an examination by a healthcare provider. And then also submit all their registration fees per the Narragansett Council payment schedule, which we will talk about shortly. And just for any of the participants, so youth, young adult, or adult participants, they have to both register with the council and also with National using their my.scouting account. And we will talk a little bit more about that shortly. So with knowledge that there were a lot of youth that were intending to go in 2021 to the National Jamboree, however, because of the COVID pandemic, were not able to attend, they have basically come up with what they call a young adult participant level of or mechanism to attend the National Jamboree. So for these participants, they have to, again, have a current BSA membership, but they have to be at least 18 years of age, but not reach their 21st birthday by the last day of the Jamboree. So this would capture any of those participants that missed out because of the pandemic. They will be housed as an adult, but they will be allowed to participate in the program consistent with a youth participant. So clearly they would still have to follow the youth protection guidelines. However, they would be able to follow suit with the youth as it pertains to the program aspect of the Jamboree. And then the same online submittance of a health record and also the fees. And then for adult participants, so for the leaders that'll be going down. So they must have a current BSA membership and they must all be at least 21 years of age by the first day of the Jamboree. So luckily there's no upper age, so they could be 105 on the last day and still go. But there's opportunities as Scoutmaster, first, second, and third assistant Scoutmasters, and then also every unit has to have a healthcare provider with varying levels. So any of the Scoutmaster, first assistant Scoutmaster, second assistant Scoutmaster, or third assistant Scoutmaster must currently be serving in any unit leadership position. So for the Scoutmaster position, they have to be currently serving as a Scoutmaster in a unit. However, for any of the first, second, and third assistant Scoutmaster spots, they just have to serve. So they could be on a troop committee, but they have to already be a unit in a unit leadership position. And then same thing for the young adult and also the adult, they also have to participate in the pre-Jamboree training experience. So again, some of that will be dictated by the council, some of it will be dictated by the Jamboree Committee, and then some of it will be dictated by the individual Jamboree unit leaders. Zach, is there anything that I missed in those qualifications that you want to?
No, John, I think you hit them all right on the head. And I think an important thing to note for qualifications for anybody is the importance of being physically fit, because it's a week long of strenuous all day, all through the night activity, and being in physical fit form is very, very important. And there is varying requirements for what your health, what your physical fitness qualifications are to qualify to be a adult leadership position.
Excellent, thank you. Yes, for some of us, it was a good motivator to lose weight to be able to get there, and not just for the adults, but also for some of the scouts as well. So.
And we would also never use that as a deterrent. It's just it's an added. It's not. I wouldn't necessarily call it an incentive, but it's part of scouting, and sets that goal for. I want to hit that. I want to hit that mountaintop. I want to go to the National Jamboree, and this is what I need to do in order to be able to get there.
Absolutely. Yes, one of the most difficult climbs or hikes of my life was the garden ground. After walking, several days, probably 8 to 10 miles or more a day, and then the hike to the garden ground. One redeeming quality was for everybody that's a Chick-fil-A fan. Oddly, there was a Chick-fil-A at the top of the mountain. Go figure. So financial information. So as far as questions go, this is, usually one of the bigger questions that that people have, especially of Zach. And clearly this is one of those experiences that, usually happens once in a lifetime, but obviously it's a very large trip. And, with that does come with a fee that's a little bit steeper than you might see with many of your, certainly more than your weekend camps or even your week at resident camp, wherever that might be. So the cost of a youth registration is $2,595, and that's broken down into 5 payments of $519 each. And whether you're going down as an adult, as a youth, or a young adult, the payment schedule is the same. So the first payment is due at time of registration. The second payment is due by August 1st. The third payment is due by November 1st. The fourth payment is due by February 1st of 2023. And final payment is due by April 1st of 2023. So leave that up there just for another second in case anybody has to look. I know some of the people that are already on the call have already signed up, so they may already know the schedule. So the next biggest question and the next thing to talk about is scholarships, or what we call in our council camperships. So scholarship or campership deadlines are posted here, and they are awarded by the National Boy Scouts of America. And if you go to the National Jamboree website and click on the participants link, there is right on the left-hand side is a link and a page that has all of the detailed information. So the Boy Scouts of America has an aim to ensure that every eligible scout who is interested in attending the Jamboree is able to do so regardless of the financial background. However, if you look at the guidance that they provide there, they do not provide scholarships for 100% of the cost. There is some limited ability for 100% of the national cost, but not for the full cost of the Jamboree. And they're going to be kind of stratified by 2 separate rounds. So they're going to have one round. The first round, the deadline to submit for a scholarship is July 31st, 2022. And your request will either be approved, denied, or waitlisted by the end of September 2022. So obviously, if you're approved, that means whatever you had applied for, they approved it. If it was denied, then they are not going to give you that funding. But if you're waitlisted, that means you will be pushed off to round 2. Does not mean that you're automatically going to be approved, but if they slide you over into the waitlisted category, that means they're going to re-look at your application in that second round. And the deadline for submitting in the second round is December 31st of this year, so December 31st of 2022. And those requests will either be approved or denied by the end of February of 2023. And Zach, I think you wanted to speak about some fundraising opportunities.
Yeah, so the scholarship deadlines that John's referring to is done by the National Council, National Boy Scouts of America, and us here in the Narragansett Council. We want to try and make the Jamboree as accessible to as many scouts as possible. We're looking to send a contingent of about 100 total people. That's 88 youth and 12 adults. And a scout is thrifty. So one of the ways that a scout can help offset their Jamboree costs is participating in the popcorn sale. So what we're doing is we're going to create a special unit called Troop 2023, and that they'll be solely comprised of youth who are participating in the 2023 Jamboree. Any one of those youth who participate in the popcorn sale here in the fall of 2022, as well as part of the online sale, will receive a up commission from 30, I believe it's 35% off the top of my head. And we're going to be doing 50% commission. So 50 total percent of the commission from the popcorn sale will go to credit towards their Jamboree fees through the Narragansett Council. But there are a few things that go along with that. You know, the sale will not affect the unit that the youth is participating, that is registered to. So the sale of the popcorn will go strictly to the Jamboree troop versus the local unit. We're also going to offer there's den chief opportunities at our 3 Cub Day Camp locations: Camp Yagu, Camp Norris, and at Adventure Base Camp. And a den chief can serve and volunteer for 1 week to 8 weeks during the summer, and they'll receive $50 in credit towards either summer camp of 2023 or towards their Jamboree fee as well. So there's a couple opportunities for youth, for scouts who are looking to participate in the 2023 Jamboree to help offset their cost, be thrifty, and get them there to the Summit Bechtel Reserve down in West Virginia. So those are our opportunities coming up in the immediate future. If you'd like to participate in the popcorn sale, you can reach out to me directly. I'll put my contact information here in the chat. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out, and we'll get everybody squared away. And we want as many youth to go as possible.
Excellent. Thank you, Zach. So, you know, something I don't think we ever thought we'd be so heavily reliant on in scouting, but social media and technology. So, you know, it's 2022, and listed on the right-hand side of the page is some of the social media contacts and links for the National Jamboree. So whether you're still on the fence about wanting to go, or if you're a parent and you're still, you know, trying to figure out if this is a good investment, clearly, you know, checking out the social media and, you know, gaining some insight on your own above and beyond this small presentation. So those are some good opportunities there. And also, if you're a scout or a youth participant and you're, you know, already committed to going, but you want to learn more, or maybe start to be prepared for when your unit starts to meet, and figure out what your schedule will be or what you want to do when you get down there. Certainly doing some legwork, like any other trip, would certainly be to your advantage. And as it says, there's some of the links right there. Also, the national website for the National Jamboree, so you can, you know, if you want, so it's jamboree.scouting.org. If you go directly there, there is a bunch of resources there and information. Like the rest of the world, I will say, I think there is some stuff that says that it is to be determined, or will be available soon. And I think, like every other part of the world right now, everything is still trying to get back up and running. So, you know, I ask that you, you know, you have patience with the national, but also with our council and the council Jamboree Committee, as well as the unit leaders once they're selected for the contingent troops. And Zach, do we have any questions in the?
Not that I see you, John.
Perfect, thank you. So kind of as I started, I said the Jamboree is a mountaintop experience, and it's at the heart of what it means to truly be a scout. You know, it's so vast and diverse with the things and the opportunities that are there. And more importantly than all of that, it's fun. It's definitely a lot of walking, you know, and, you know, I think scouts that go will say, wow, but, you know, for the scouts, they go from reveille to taps nonstop, and sometimes past taps, you know, getting prepared for the next day. Since 1937, National Jamborees have brought youth leaders together from all over the country and the world to share the bond that's scouting. Even within our own council, you know, so I'm a Scoutmaster in Coventry. My assistant Scoutmaster for the Jamboree was from Massachusetts. And, you know, our scouts got together and bonded, and as did our two families. It's an adventure that will challenge you to go further than you ever thought possible. You know, and as a heavier set leader, I can tell you, I never thought I'd walk so much in my life. And, you know, but it did reach that challenge. And, you know, for one of my scouts in my home unit, it challenged him to lose a significant amount of weight to be prepared to get there. You know, and as the little quote says there, but you can and you will. And I think, you know, as Zach kind of mentioned earlier, this is, you know, one of them things, you know, it might be just a side benefit of, you know, all the preparation that you go through to get to the National Jamboree. It's something that, you know, other scouts will look up to your scout for going because they know what it takes to get there and to have that experience. You know, the other thing is it, you know, really does kind of just delve down deep into what it means to be a scout. You know, going back to the roots of scouting, you know, they always talked about Jamboree. For over 85 years, the National Jamboree has brought members from all over the country, really just to share the bond that is scouting. And, you know, you can do that in, you know, in many higher adventure places, but, you know, to be there for 10 days, you know, is quite incredible. So as each Jamboree grows in numbers and adventure, adding more and more activities for scouts to turn into memories. So even, you know, if you have a scout that went in 2017 and they're old enough within that window to still be able to go as a second time as a scout, which, you know, just by the way that the Jamborees fall, that's a limited number of people that can go, you know, multiple times as a youth, but certainly there will be enough change that they will not be bored. The theme is forward. And I think, you know, so here it says forward to adventure. And I think, you know, forward is a fitting theme for the 2023 National Jamboree as our country and our scouting units move forward from 2 difficult years, greatly affected, you know, for our council by EEE and also by the coronavirus pandemic. It also reinforces one of the Summit Bechtel Reserve's purposes of helping to redefine scouting's adventure for the next century. Participants of the 2023 National Jamboree will experience that difference every day. Participants who attend the National Jamboree will learn that character is created when you achieve more than you thought possible. If nobody has any other questions, on behalf of the Narragansett Council and the Jamboree Committee, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us tonight, and we hope to see you and or your scout at the summit in 2023.
John, thank you so much for putting this together, and Carol, and being a part of the committee and making it happen. You know, the Jamboree is one of those mountaintop experiences for not just scouts, but for adult leadership as well. And you both can attest to that. And we're very fortunate to have you both part of the committee to help extend that to other folks as well. So thank you so much for everything that you do.
Thank you. And I see Ms. McMichael put in the chat that tough decision between Philmont and the Jamboree in 2023. And I can honestly say that's a tough one because Philmont is still on my bucket list as well. So, you know, I just got to convince my wife that I still need to go to Philmont. Thank you, everyone. I hope everyone has a good night.
All right, John, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to end it then.
Okay, sounds good.
Great. Thanks so much.